This episode of the Nerfherder Council is brought to you by Audible. Get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook download by visiting audibletrial.com/NHC.
Warning. The following podcast contains irreverent humor, exceptionally nerdy opinions, potential cursing, and plenty of love for the prequels. If any of the preceding offends you, please turn off this podcast immediately, and may the Force be with you.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
You can't use that word! Only we can use that word!
It's time for the Jedi to end.
You're tuned in to the Nerfherder Council, your source for Star Wars opinion, conversation, and debate, featuring your hosts, JT. I mean, they killed his mother. What's he supposed to do? Send him a postcard? I wish you wouldn't have done that. AJ.
Well, if you don't remember something you already saw, that does not count as a spoiler. That counts as you not paying attention.
Steve.
It's like what was it, Force Friday at Toys R Us last year? It's just everybody's normal, and then something about microphones, and everything's lit now.
On this episode of the Nerfherder Council, the final season of Rebels is here, and we give our review of the first 2 episodes, and we give our in-depth review of the new trailer for The Last Jedi.
This is the Nerfherder Council.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Nerfherder Council. I am your host, JT, back as they always are. My intrepid co-hosts, I've used that one before, but you run out of platitudes. AJ and Steve. And since the last time we came to you, as we said on the last show, a lot of stuff has happened, most notably the Last Jedi trailer, which of course we will get to. We have also had a reveal for the new Han Solo movie. And for those of you who have not... Come on now.
I'm not mad at the movie, just the absolute lamest, worst kept secret in Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Well, for those of you who have not heard, spoiler, we're going to give you the new title that was revealed by Ron Howard, I believe, yesterday.
Kylo.
Yeah.
A Star Wars story.
Exactly. Now hold on to your seats now. Come on. Like in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. It's called Solo.
Well, that smells stinker-whiff.
It's not that I'm underwhelmed or anything, because I'm like, the whole time that they were talking about it, it was kind of like one of those, what the hell are they going to call it? Like, I mean, if you really think about it, like, it's kind of hard. I mean, really, Rogue One was about Rogue One. So, I mean, you really, and they're doing that with the books anyway. You know, the book about Thrawn, it's called Thrawn. The book about...
What was the one about Tarkin called?
That one was called Tarkin.
Oh, that's right. But wait, they had that one about Anakin's apprentice. That was called
Kenobi.
What was it called? Like Padawan or...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking the other one. Ahsoka. I was waiting for you to say Kenobi, and I completely glossed over you saying something different. Off to a rousing start.
Yeah, there's not too many people at Lucas that are sitting in a room, you know, just thinking these things up, are there?
Well, again, it's like, it was so underwhelming, but I'm like, I was like, what else are you going to call it, I guess?
You're right. I mean, but that's all it is. It's just underwhelming. You could have told us this the day after they started shooting.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, okay.
Right.
You sit on this thing for a year, and then you have a big reveal, and it's like,
yeah,
what do you want, Ron Howard? You want me to throw a freaking cookie through the computer screen at you? What the hell do you think you deserve right now for this? I'm sorry.
I guess we got to give the guy some credit, because he's been tweeting out pictures and all sorts of stuff. So he's been more involved, I think, than any other Star Wars director has so far.
And all that's
pretty cool.
All that's cooler than the stupid name reveal.
All right.
It almost seems orchestrated, doesn't it?
Maybe so.
Like maybe that was one of the criteria to actually get the gig after they
let Lord and Miller go. Like, you know what? Whoever comes in here, you've got to tweet like a shitload.
All right. Whatever you do, social media the hell out of this.
Everybody's got to know it's going right.
We want Trump level tweeting. Damn it! Like, get on there, get on your horse and ride.
If you think this movie's going poorly, hashtag fake news.
CNN just wants you to believe that nobody cares about this movie title,
right? What else would they have called it though? Like I say, we were talking about
porgs.
Yeah. Porgs don't exist. Well, they exist, but not in this.
They might.
Yeah.
You never know. This is Disney Star Wars now. These porgs might end up. They might redo the prequels, and there might be friggin' porgs in it. You never know at this point.
They're gonna retcon everything.
Yep.
We're gonna be watching. We're gonna be watching our quote unquote remastered episode 1. You're just gonna see a group of them run, and you're like, "What the fuck? No, those do not belong here."
It'll be during the pod race. They'll replace those little things that are running across the track. They'll replace them with porgs. Like, oh my god,
the sand people are shooting instead of hitting the pod racer. They're just hitting a group of porgs on the other side of the.
And instead of the laser bolt hitting the one pod racer, it's actually going to be a porg flying into it like a bird on the highway.
Like a bird through the engine of a 747. It just goes right through.
They got Mark Hamill back on the payroll again. They're probably going to have him redub episode 4. She's going to say, like, yeah, I used to bullseye porgs in my T-16 speeder back home.
Right. They're not much more than 2 meters wide. Yeah. Anyway,
it's going to be a bad overdub too.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be that horrible one where you hear the line perfectly and you just hear porg.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Porg Watch 2017.
Porg Watch 1977.
Right. I used to bullseye porgs at my T-16 when I was Tatooine. Oh, yeah, they could call it Kessel Run. What are you going to call it? Gold Dice, Space Chess,
Porg.
Yeah.
I can't get over the fact that it just sounds like a damn turkey. I'm sorry.
I wonder what they're going to sound like in the movie, or if the toy just got it completely wrong.
What it actually sounds like is it sounds like that emote from Battlefront 1.
Yeah! Oh, right? God, that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Greatest emote ever.
I know.
You know how many times I just misdirection the other team by running out in the middle of the field going...
So how long do you think it is before they do a mashup crossover of Porg versus Baby Groot?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Although they do need more footage, I guess. But, you know. Yeah, speaking of Battlefront, you know, yesterday was 1 month to the day until Battlefront 2 comes out. It is getting so close.
Speaking of which, have either of you guys been on that with the pre-order beta or anything?
I haven't. Have you?
No. I don't have a pre-order because I'm kind of expecting a hand-me-down copy from a GameStop manager when it comes out.
Well, I have an inside source, meaning
hashtag free games,
meaning an 11-year-old who's about to be 12, for whose birthday I pre-ordered the game, and he did participate in the beta. And his main take is that, at least for the beta, it takes forever to load anything. He said the graphics are sweet, but oh my god, is it slow? And I thought the first game was bad. So if they haven't fixed that for this one, I'm out before I even got in.
Well, I wonder if it's just because it's the beta, though.
That's what I'm hoping.
It could be, but yeah, I remember the first game was really bad on matchmaking and stuff. It took forever to get into games.
Oh, it's still like that.
That was at launch too, when everybody and their mother was playing it, and it still couldn't find matches.
It's still like that. I was playing yesterday. I was trying to play Walker Assault on Scarif, and it was like a couple minutes, like waiting for people to join. Like, ugh. So that's, you know, I don't know. I don't care. It's more Star Wars, so I don't give a shit.
Well,
I'm just gonna play the hell out of it, like I have this one, and I'm gonna suck at it, and I don't care.
Well, by the time this episode,
at least this one's got single player for you, so the rest of the world doesn't have to know you suck at it.
Exactly, right? It's for me.
Exactly. It's honestly the one thing I'm looking forward to the most out of it is the single player campaign, because that's what annoyed me so much about the first one. I was really good at it, and I was dominating in matches and stuff, but then slowly but surely people started to find ways to hack the game, and it just made it very unfun very quickly. And I literally got out of that game before the first drop of the season pass came out. I was done with that game.
Really? That fast?
Yeah, I was so done with it. And I bought the season pass and never even downloaded any of it.
No kidding.
Nope, never used it.
I have to admit that the hacks and the cheats and stuff are really annoying because, I'll never forget, my brother and I would play all the time. AJ's and my older brother, DA. But there were guys in there that, you'd have like 10 kills and 5 deaths or something, and there'd be one dude with like 60 kills and like 1 death, and he's not on the hero character. And he's like using a jetpack and shooting you from the air and not missing while he's flailing wildly. Like, what the hell is that?
How'd you get the Millennium Falcon 8 seconds into the match? That's not even possible, dude.
Yep. I hate that. I really do. And it's if there's a way to block that, I really hope that they can. Like maybe send a virus to their machine that destroys it.
Well, friend of show, the Angel Korea told us that this one is basically pay to play. Like they're not doing the season pass stuff, but if you don't actually fork over cash for the upgrades, you're going to be outgunned from day one.
I don't mind doing that.
I think that's kind of crap. Like
that's what they do with all the other games.
Give me a game that I can actually play and compete at. Don't tell me that because I only spent $60 on the game and not the other $20 plus on the deluxe edition, that all these power-ups that make you competitive are locked off from me.
Well, and that was part of the first game too. That the pre-orders had the Han Solo blaster, which like took you to what you needed to unlock that at like level 50. But if you pre-ordered, it was in your pocket already, and you were just dominating people from day one with that thing.
Yeah, speaking of games that you just want to play as like a single player, there's actually news I think that just came out today about that. EA, their Visceral division has been working on a Star Wars game that's supposedly like Uncharted for years. It's been this rumored thing, and they finally started releasing footage from it, and it looks incredible and all that. And then recently, maybe it was just today, they announced that they're like stopping the Visceral production and some other studios taking it. So it's back into crapper again. They apparently had like test players come in to like check out what they'd done and stuff, and because of the feedback they were getting, they want to go back to the drawing board using this game as a base and build off what's already there. So apparently it looked incredible from what I gathered reading online. It looked incredible and was a super cool concept, and the people that played it were like, what the hell? So
now it's just hanging out in the corner with 1313.
Oh, well, no, it's not canceled. That's the only difference. It's not canceled. They still want to do it, but apparently it just kind of took a major hit.
The story of video games is always weird, though. I've had some free time lately, and I've been watching this YouTube channel of like Gaming Historian, and it's just amazing the twists and turns these things can take. Like 1313 was in development for years.
Yep.
It gets scrapped. This new game in development for years, not scrapped, but handed off to somebody else. You never know. So while this may seem like, oh my God, we don't know how many other games actually experience this as well. We just didn't have the documentation before. So we'll reserve judgment on that. But when you're speaking of single player campaigns, though, as of the release date of this actual episode, there will be a new trailer for Battlefront 2.
Oh.
And that is based on the single player campaign. So Star Wars Show just today, this being Wednesday, dropped a preview, which looks like a cutscene of JT, help me out here. Iden Versio, is that the name?
Iden Versio.
Okay, that's the main protagonist here. She is escaping from rebel custody in the little sneak peek. So I guess the trailer that will already be released, and then we'll sound stupid for it by the time it comes out, is going to give more light to the story behind the single player campaign.
See, I'm really interested to see what that story is, because I'm in the middle of listening to the audiobook for Inferno Squadron, which is like the story of Iden Versio and her little band of, I won't give away too many spoilers, but I'll start with a little spoiler. But anyway,
I'm kind of on the fence about checking this book out or not. Like,
I'm loving it.
I don't know if I want to pay money for it.
Well, if you don't want to pay money for it, you could always go to www.audibletrial.com/NHC and get a free 30-day trial of the Audible audiobook service and download a free audiobook while you're at it. So there you go.
All right.
So the story of Inferno Squadron basically starts out Iden Versio is a TIE pilot, stationed on the first Death Star. and she's like one of the only. She was in space flying around kicking rebel ass during the trench run, and she was one of the only people to survive the first Death Star explosion.
So Vader wasn't the only guy in a ship outside the Death Star that survived.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, but if you see like the trailer and stuff for Battlefront 2, and she's on Endor when the second Death Star explodes. So it's like, okay, so she goes through all this and like it's weird because the way the story's going, I'm like, okay, because the what's happening in the story and what little plot synopses that I've read, it's kind of giving away how it's going to end.
What time period does this take place in? Is it between the events of the original trilogy, or does this pick up like the game does afterward?
No, it's after the events of the original trilogy, like after the Death Star explosion.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's weird. The way that the book is playing out and knowing kind of how it ends, I'm interested to see how that will tie into the story mode of Battlefront 2.
And this is supposed to be a prequel to the campaign. It's not.
Yeah, it's basically
concurrent.
Imagine Battlefront 2 is Rogue One, and Inferno Squadron is Catalyst. That's basically what it's like.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm loving the story. It's really cool. If I had a lot more time to listen to audiobooks, I'd have been done with it by now. Because every time I listen to them, I'm like, this is awesome. So it's really cool. It's a very original story, I think, and it's really kick ass.
Well, tell me this, because every Star Wars book seems to have one WTF moment. Is there anything that's just completely like left field on here where you're like, that's not Star Wars?
Well, the one ship is called the Implacable. So now they're just searching for words to attach as a name for a starship. Other than that, there's certain things where I know that you have to kind of ground it in our world to make it a little more accessible. Sometimes it's a little, like when they, instead of, they woke up and had a cup of calf. Stop it. Really? Honestly, calf? You just shorten caffeine and make it coffee? Space coffee? Like, come on. And I know that not really much else you can do with it, but it's something about it just sounds weird.
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Yeah, I know, but I've never liked it. And there's, they actually have whiskey in it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's, and honestly, when I think about it, there's not really anything else you can do. It just seems kind of weird a little bit. So,
look, the old EU used to have hot chocolate as a beverage of unknown origin. So,
well, that's why it's the EU and doesn't exist anymore.
Right. It's not the first time they've gotten weird.
That's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
That's why we don't recognize your kind here.
Right. No, it's actually pretty cool. And the actress that plays Iden Versio for Battlefront 2 is the one that actually does she does the reading for the audiobook. And at first it's kind of weird because you don't really hear too many women reading the book. So to hear her do like male characters, kind of at first you're like, well, that's kind of interesting. But then you get used to it because she does a really good reading. So, I mean, she's a dramatic actress herself. So the dramatic parts come across really strong. It's really cool. So I really like it. It's interesting. I'm very excited to hear how it plays out.
Wow, she's got a pretty full palate.
Yeah, way to go.
Okay, yeah, well, tripped over that one. Pretty full palate. Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
No, the fact that she's an actual like full-fledged actress, did mocap for the game, did voice acting for the game, and is now reading an audiobook. Those are very different disciplines, actually. She's got a pretty broad range of talents, apparently.
I think wasn't there one of the cons recently? Might have even been New York. She actually showed up at it for one of the game panels, and she was in the full Inferno Squadron outfit. So
I don't remember seeing her in the full outfit, but yeah, I know she's been making the rounds though. 'Cause she's really just like how we talked, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, about how cool it was that John Boyega and Daisy Ridley really took the whole franchise and just jumped right into this stuff. Like she's doing the same thing. She's really jumped in with both feet into the Star Wars universe. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know for a fact that she was in the outfit one time because I remember seeing the picture, and part of the article I read said, "Oh, how cool is this? She's actually in the Iden Versio gear." So, but yeah, you're right. It's always and like we said on the show before, it's awesome when the actresses and actors in the Star Wars universe actually get into it, like kind of fanboy the way that we do, because it just it brings you kind of closer to everything.
Yeah.
So. But before we go further, I did want to say thank you to everybody for the positive reviews online and stuff like that. Don't forget to go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review, because that boosts our rating and boosts our visibility and helps us get some more listeners, and we always appreciate that. Don't forget to go check out our YouTube page where you can find all of our episodes there. The numbers are actually going up. I watched some last week to see how it sounds, because I don't usually watch YouTube stuff that's just audio. And I noticed that the numbers are going up and up, so that's pretty cool. So thanks, everybody, for that, and thanks for tweeting at us and everything. So just wanted to throw that out there before we kept going, because I wanted to do it at the beginning of the show, but we got right into talking. So,
yeah, we've noticed that probably one of the problems with the show is that we don't pimp it enough, or ask people to pimp it for us.
Yeah.
We forgot we're supposed to whore ourselves out like every other podcast, and we never do. So apparently, if we don't tell you to, you won't actually promote us. So.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, yeah, I think one of the most fun things for me is getting messages from people on Facebook and the tweets and everything, because the interaction's pretty cool. It's always nice to see what other people think about it, about the show and about Star Wars and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, the time between our recordings are some of the most fun times, because then you get everybody else's opinion. You get to have other conversations. Because, I love you guys, but we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and we've talked Star Wars.
I'm sick
a bunch.
of your opinions,
right?
Speaking of that, can you believe that in like 2 months it'll be 2 years for us, and we will have had 3 new Star Wars movies that we've podcasted about in that time? That's awesome. That's badass. It's an entire trilogy worth of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Trilogies worth, excuse me. But that's incredible.
So that means once the 3rd movie comes out, we got to take a 30-year break before our next podcast.
Yeah, we're going to do it just like Star Wars did. We're going to pull a Lucasfilm. See ya!
See you guys in our 70s. Peace.
All right. So last night, or actually, excuse me, it was 2 nights ago. Steve, we're gonna enlighten you here. So
okay.
Anyone else that is
I'm always good for enlightenment.
Anyone else that is into this next topic, there will be spoilers if you have not watched this yet. But this 2 days ago on Monday was the.
Wait, if you're going to enlighten me, that means you're going to talk about Rebels.
That's exactly it. So 2 nights ago was the season 4 premiere. So 2 nights ago was the season 4 premiere of the final season. Actually, season 4 was the season premiere of. Have I said season enough? I am stuttering all over myself. Anyways, it was the premiere of the final season of Rebels, and it was a 2-parter, Heroes of Mandalore parts 1 and 2. And I have to say that even though my hopes were not high for this, because I'm very indifferent to Rebels, it just has not grabbed me. These episodes did not let me down, because it still didn't grab me, and I'm still indifferent to it. So
you're at that level right now where you just can't be disappointed by it. So there's nowhere to go but up. You're either going to stay the same, or you're going to go, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm like, I was sitting there watching it, trying to remember what happened in the other 3 seasons, and I have like a couple memories. And I've watched and I own every single episode. I buy every one on Google Play. So I have every single one.
All right. Go back to our last show with the 3 best moments. Here's my 3 moments period of Rebels. The guys that have the helicopter lightsabers.
The Inquisitors in season 2.
The horrible Obi-Wan Darth Maul thing that was like an entire year's worth of a show wrapped up into a half of a second of ugh.
Right.
And the only cool thing in my mind about the entire series so far, the Ahsoka Vader showdown.
Yeah, thankfully there's been teases that we're going to find out what happened to or happens to Ahsoka. So she's a part of this, which is cool. It's just, I mean,
that's the thing, is all the best moments of Rebels seem to be wrapping up Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Like nothing that's been introduced in Rebels am I like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It almost goes to the thing that's been said 2 million times on the show, 1.5 million by me, of Disney doing what they have to do to keep people interested.
Yeah.
So it's like Rebels can't go on and do their own thing. It's almost like they know that nobody's paying any attention to it, so they keep tying loose ends with Clone Wars to try to keep the interest alive.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like it's going that way.
I mean, I have to admit the one cool thing I like is that they're bringing Mandalore into it so much. Like, because that's pretty cool because everyone likes Boba Fett and, there's segments of the fan base, me being one of them, who really likes Jango Fett as well. And the Mandalorians have always been that, the cool kid of the Star Wars universe. So to bring that planet into it and kind of establish the history of that planet with, the Darksaber and the Mandalorian armor and stuff, that's cool.
Like they tried. Like, I think that was the whole reason behind Sabine and everything, is to get that side of the fan base and go, hey, look, we got Mandalorians too.
Yep. In this episode, it was all Mandalore, which is fine. But again, Ezra, does he ever grow up or is he always like a turd? I swear to God.
Dude, that's the
and
one
now
thing
it's always comedy. Everything out of his mouth is comedy. It's like shut up, man.
That's the
it
one
doesn't
thing
have to
I'm
always
waiting
be a
for.
joke for the kids.
That's the one thing I'm waiting for. When this season finally wraps up and we do a podcast, you guys enlighten me one more time of just the Ezra genocide. And I'll be like, yes, I want to go back and watch it now.
I want to get this on mic right now, just in case I turn out to be the smartest in the room.
Well, that's not going to be very hard. So.
I'm calling
right.
I'm calling it now.
Fruit.
I'm going with the internet on this one.
This is what I think it is. Check this out, Steve. Check this out, Steve.
I think DJ
There it
is
is.
Ezra.
There it is.
Benicio del Toro looks like an old as dirt version of Ezra, and he's got the exact same scar in the exact same place.
I'm going to say that that's false.
And we all know scars don't move in Star Wars.
Where's the bing thing?
No.
Wrong one.
No, that's the one I wanted.
Right? Yeah, you know why that can't be? Because Benicio del Toro is always cool and Ezra is not. Therefore, it can't be.
Yeah.
My reasoning only goes that far.
So Ezra's the collector.
Yeah, right. Dude, I keep thinking that same thing. I'm like Benicio del Toro.
That's the only thing I picture.
Yeah, I'm like expecting to see him in Star Wars, and he's got a glass case behind him with Howard the Duck in it. Yeah.
And Ezra's like, and here's one of the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, so that's where the fifth damn one was. It wasn't even in the Marvel universe.
That's
It's
what
Star Wars.
Saber crystal.
Yeah, that's what it is. The Infinity Stones are actually kyber crystals.
No, the last one isn't even going to be in Avengers and crap. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be all rooting around for this last Infinity Stone, and Thanos is going to be looking at the glove with one empty hole, going, "Now what the? Been looking for this thing for like 15 movies. Where the hell is it?"
That's the ultimate Disney tie-in.
It ties Star Wars into Marvel, and then
episode 9, there's gonna be a wormhole that opens up, and friggin' Iron Man and Thor come through it. Nope.
See ya.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm out.
Star Wars is dead.
Oh, come on!
Star Wars is dead to me. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, that would be the point where people who are like, the prequels don't exist to me. That would be the point where the original trilogy does not, or the sequel trilogy does not exist to me.
Yeah, but you.
In the meantime, your cousin Chris is busting a nut in his pants on the other side of the theater.
All right, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Greatest Star Wars movie ever.
But JT, if Infinity Wars Part 2 ends with the Millennium Falcon coming in and blowing the shit out of Thanos, you're going to be the first one standing up and cheering and clapping.
That is completely 100% true. You're damn right.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Bravo, Disney.
Yes.
Bravo.
Yes.
Great job. Great job.
I'm not going to deny it, man. Like all the entire MCU comes down to like we just can't beat Thanos, and I'll see here, and it's that shot.
Yeah!
Yes, I'm like, oh, it's on, bitches, it's on. That's exactly.
And alive and well, Han Solo comes out of the Falcon,
and I'm going to stand up and be like, I told all you, I told you all. But yeah, I mean, so the Mandalore thing's cool. Ezra sucks. I mean, I have to admit it's kind of cool how they made Sabine kind of a little more important and a little more mature of a character than just like some random brat spray painting TIE fighters like she was earlier in the series. Hera's a cool character. I really like Hera, I have to admit.
That's the one bit about the show that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Hera. Sabine was, I know you don't like her, AJ.
Nope.
I was always with Sabine. Like, I thought it was an all right character, but being a Mandalorian was kind of off. Ezra is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
And he still is.
And I hate Zeb too. I don't know why. Just that
Really?
character. That character doesn't do anything for me.
I don't mind Zeb. I mean, Zeb's cool, but he actually wasn't in these 2 episodes at all.
Yeah.
Hera
Hera barely was either.
Yeah,
You know,
but
If they weren't on Mandalore, then they weren't in the episode, basically.
yeah.
Well, if they take Ezra out too, then we'll have something going for us the rest of the season.
Oh, tell me about it. And I better see some more Captain Rex.
Mid-season finale, he just gets decapitated.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's the beginning of the 3rd episode. You're like, thank God.
Well, you want to see where the
Oh, and the other dude too. The Jedi numbnut. I don't like him either. Kanan. Yeah, he does nothing for me either.
Dude, before you keep.
you mean Daredevil?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, please remember your point, AJ, because I have to. Every time I see that mask of his, I cannot help but laugh. Ever since we did that episode where AJ's like, they painted friggin' eyes on the mask of the blind guy. How cruel is that? I can't get over that thought.
Every week, like every night, Sabine should just put a different set of googly eyes on that thing. Just go to Michael's up on the corner and get those little plastic googly eyes. So when he turns, they're like the little black eyes are going all over the place. And he's trying to train Ezra, and he's like, why aren't you taking this seriously?
Yeah. Why do you keep laughing at me? This is serious business. And what's that clicking sound? It's coming right from the front of my face. See, I'm just picturing the Google. God damn it. I'm just picturing this. It's like... You know, you can't give me like vivid mental pictures like that because I won't stop laughing for a while. Oh my gosh. Oh, so anyways. All right, so your point was
Well, Dave Filoni has said that there are no filler episodes this season whatsoever.
Thank God.
So it's either going to wrap something up or it's going to bring something back that you thought was a filler episode from the first few seasons. What I want to do is I want to play you guys the preview for next week's episode, which is up on YouTube right now. And I want to see what you guys have to say about this. All right?
Okay, how long is this?
It's a 2-minute preview.
Oh, good, because I have to pee.
All right.
All right, go for it.
This is where the magic of editing comes in, folks.
That's all right. All right, hit play.
All right.
And we're back. All right, play the video.
It's not whether or not we fight. It's
how we choose to fight that matters. I know, Kanan. Maybe we're choosing the wrong way.
Members of the Alliance to Restore the Republic.
Saw.
Your losses today stem from your leaders' cowardice. Their unwillingness to take decisive action against the Empire. All across the galaxy, your people suffer while the leaders of this rebellion refuse to act.
Should I shut it down?
No, I want to speak to him.
Madam Senator, I'm honored.
What is your business here?
You ignored my warning about the Delindi relay and paid the price. Now you have confirmation, yet still you refuse to destroy it.
So long as our allies in the Senate have hope of a peaceful resolution to this conflict, I will not risk...
If you continue to allow this war to be fought on the Empire's terms, not yours, you are going to lose.
I will not be lectured on military strategy by a man who has proven himself a criminal.
The Empire considers both of us criminals. At least I act like one.
You target civilians, kill those who surrender, break every rule of engagement. If we degrade ourselves to the Empire's level, what will we become?
There she is! That's the leader the rebellion needs! Where is that fire, that passion, when your people need it most?
Wow. Okay. Well, I have to admit, Saw Gerrera, especially when voiced by Forrest Whitaker, can pretty much make anything better. So that's for the very next episode?
Yeah, that's the one. Actually, those are what is it? Mondays that those come out?
Yeah, Mondays.
Okay, so that's the day after this comes out then.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dude. I'll tell you what, man. That's the coolest thing about like the new model of Star Wars is every time they bring in a character, they get them across like all media. So Forrest Whitaker does Rogue One, does Rebels. I want to check and see. I think the voice actress on Rebels is the same chick who plays her in Rogue One too.
Wow. They've been doing that a lot lately, though, getting the actual actors to provide a little more continuity to it. Mm-hmm. The guys in Clone Wars did a fantastic job, so I wouldn't mind if they revoiced him.
Chopper played himself in Rogue One.
Yeah, Chopper's another one I still can't really... I mean, he's cool, I guess. He's an a-hole droid. But it's like, okay. I mean, I don't love him like all the other droids. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Kanan either. I mean, it's a cool character. It's just Steve, that picture you sent us. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh, that's going to go on the Facebook page and the Twitter. Episode preview. I mean, it's cool. Again,
thanks for making our thumbnail for me.
No problem.
AJ, I think you're the one that had the point of, the whole blind Jedi can kick ass like it doesn't matter, he's blind type of thing that you're just not into.
No, I'm not into it at all because I get the whole positive message of just because you're blind doesn't mean you're dead. You can still, be useful. But the whole thing of like, oh, it's like I can see, I just use the Force now. No, come on. Okay, you can be productive and you can have other skills besides, well, yeah, my eyes don't work, but I found another way to see anyway. Now, work around it, okay? That
yeah.
Personally, I'm not blind, so maybe I'm going to offend somebody here who has no eyesight, but I would think that the more positive message wouldn't be, it's like I can see again. It would be, I can't see, but I have all these other things I can do instead.
Oh, like George Carlin said, handy capable.
Right. Like, seriously, like it's one thing to have like a role model, but if the role model they're trying to portray is that when your eyeballs get destroyed, you can still see anyway. No, you can't see. You could do other things besides see, and sometimes you can do them better.
Aren't you supposed to just see through the Force, though? That's like, I mean, that's the inference there.
To an extent, but then you get someone like Chirrut. Chirrut does not have Force vision like a Jedi would, and yet he gets around just like somebody who can see anyway.
Maybe he just had cataracts really bad.
Ooh, yeah.
So Kanan and Chirrut and Ram Koda all just sit together and have war stories between glasses of blue milk at the cantina or something.
Right.
Well, not Ram Koda because he's not canon. So
almost was.
Yeah. Early drafts of Rogue One, they confirmed that was the character that Chirrut became.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, does that diminish your liking of Chirrut Imwe, knowing you could have had Ram Koda instead?
Yeah. I would have rather seen Ram Koda, but at the same time, if I see anybody from that video game franchise, I want it to be Starkiller. So,
well, unfortunately, that can't happen now.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, you did. He just became a planet with a giant nipple gun.
A giant nipple gun.
Instead of a kick-ass Force user that's half Sith, half Jedi, and awesome as a character, it's just a planet,
right?
With the snow and trees and a laser.
Yep. Well, I mean, back to the episodes themselves of Rebels. Again, I want to get into the show so bad, and I can't. I'm watching it because I have to. And if we didn't have a podcast, I probably wouldn't watch it because I tried so hard to get into it, and it keeps letting me down. Now, if what Filoni says is true, and this season is nothing but like actual storyline stuff that matters, then I will enjoy it. Because, I mean, like we've said many times, the filler episodes are just garbage. The space whales and all this other crap. It's like, man, get to the point. And I don't know. I got to say, excuse me, that was gross. I have to say, again, with the chicken walkers, where their legs look like they're 80 feet tall, and then lightsaber blades just go right through them, like, stop that. Just stop it. I mean, last night they had, people, or 2 nights ago, they were shooting the body of the walker like crazy and doing no damage. Jedi comes along, jumps, swings at the leg, crumbles and blows up. Like, what the hell is that? Like, and again, I'm going to say it again because it's getting worse and friggin' worse. This bullshit of people shooting at each other from a distance of like 8 feet and missing wildly. Enough already. If you want to have a miss, have them at long range or longer range. Because now it wasn't even stormtroopers. It was Mandalorians and stormtroopers. Like, basically just like from here to the wall shooting at each other and missing. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, come on.
I don't know. It's got to be a stupid visual thing that they think works or something with all the lasers all over the screen. It doesn't make any sense because it makes everybody look horrible at their jobs.
Yeah. And that was one thing I was telling AJ. It's like, and I know this is trying to be a little more geared towards kids, but enough of that. Kids are going to get into it because it's Star Wars. You can still have realism. Like, I'm 8 feet away from you at point blank. I'm going to blow your head off. Do that. You know, they had the Darksaber. Have we ever seen her kill anybody with the Darksaber?
No.
Never. She just deflects crap with it, but I mean, she doesn't go cutting somebody down.
I think that's a rule of Disney, actually, because you notice how much close quarters combat there were with lightsabers in these episodes, and nobody got cut. They would only deflect bolts with them. You can get shot. Getting shot is okay, but God forbid you actually cut anybody with a sword. And show it, because, of course, Darth Maul got his, but
right.
we only had to infer that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Ezra is actually fighting inside a troop transport at one point, which is basically the size of a minivan.
Yeah.
And all he's doing is deflecting stuff and then force pushing troopers out the door and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just spin in a circle with your saber? You can bisect all of them.
Yeah. Right. It's like, I understand it's for kids and, you know, they're trying to make it exciting and all this, but it honestly takes me out of it sometimes because I'm like, come on, seriously?
This is where having anybody wielding a lightsaber in this series, based on the time frame they put it in, really like hampered the storytelling. Because in the Clone Wars, you could have Jedi mowing down enemies all you wanted because the enemies were always robots.
Yeah.
Now there's actual people in the armor. Well, you can't show that. That'd be just terrible. Oh, my God.
Give me a break.
Like, it's war. People die. And if I have a sword and they have a gun, I'm going to cut them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut their sword in half or cut their gun in half. I'm going to cut them in half.
Yep.
You're going to cut the tip off the gun and then force push them away from you.
And
that's the rebels' way.
And I have to say, they had better explain why Sabine Wren made a weapon that can destroy Mandalorians through the armor. Because she's a Mandalorian. So why in the hell did she create a weapon that can kill Mandalorians while they're in their armor?
They tried in the episode, and I think her line was something like, I was young and reckless and competitive.
Give me a break.
I had a challenge in front of me, and I had to beat it or
see, I don't even remember that. I was so caught up in the fact of, why? You're a Mandalorian. Why are you making a weapon to kill Mandalorian? What the hell is that? Unless they come out and say, well, she was a traitor at some point or she hated Mandalorians. Like, there better be an explanation. Because if it's just, oh, well, she came up with this weapon to kill Mandalorian. Look, give me a break. And then there was the whole, well, I didn't study Imperial armor enough to, get it to work on Imperials. But then all of a sudden she hits a couple buttons on her wristband and all of a sudden it's destroying every stormtrooper and Imperial thing in sight. Like, what the hell is that?
To catch everybody up who hasn't seen the episode, it's all based around this weapon that Sabine apparently designed when she was at the Imperial Academy. And why you've got cadets designing your weapons, I'm not really sure. That seems a more high-level thing to do. But she designs this weapon. It's basically a walker that discharges a lightning or something that targets the metal in Mandalorian armor specifically.
And superheats it so that it basically cooks and vaporizes the people in it.
Yes. To where like she actually like picks up like a helmet of someone who got attacked by the weapon and it just like
turns
crumbles.
to dust.
Yeah, it crumbles in her hand. And there are no bodies. It's completely gone. And then at the end of the episode, she manages to switch it around. Like, oh my God, I could never figure this out before. But no, it targets Imperial armor instead. It targets, what is it called? Plastoid, I think.
Something like that.
It targets the composites in Imperial armor. So they're on board a Star Destroyer that's docked on the planet. And all the Imperial stormtroopers are getting electrocuted, basically, but low power. Low power. They're not getting killed. They're just getting, tickled in an unpleasant way.
Well, don't forget that the ships and stuff are blowing up from it,
because that's not honorable. It's not honorable to torture people. So, but it's okay to blow up the weapon, which causes a feedback loop, which blows up the Star Destroyer. So you kill everybody on the Star Destroyer. That's okay.
Seems legit.
So you can kill everybody outright, but you just can't shoot them with lightning too hard.
Yeah,
that's not the Mandalorian way.
And the lightning isn't enough to kill a person, but it is enough to blow up like starships or like vehicles.
Well, the weapon was plugged into the Star Destroyer at the time, so that might make very little bit of sense. Not much, but
not to me. I was like, if this thing's blowing these things up, those people ought to be dead right now. This is bullcrap.
You'd think.
Anyway, yeah, it was. They're trying to wrap things up, but it's just it's so easy to poke holes in it and have it fall apart. That's the biggest problem. Like we said on the last episode, there's enough goofy stuff in Star Wars that you just don't care because the story's that good. The fact that all the goofy stuff bothers me in this tells me this isn't that good.
That's my problem with it.
There's too much goofy.
Yeah, it's I fully immerse myself in the Star Wars universe and know that there's going to be some things that just aren't going to make sense, but it's Star Wars, so it's okay. And you don't think about it until afterwards. You're like, oh, I guess if I really thought about that. This one, as you're watching it, you're like, oh, come on, dude, seriously? Really? That's what you're going to do?
I honestly have not been excited about any of that stuff since the Vader Ahsoka thing. It's just like all of season 3, just all the hype and everything, just nothing had me even sit there and go, I'll watch it. Like no amount of hype. And then, on Monday, this thing started. I didn't even know about it. So it shows you how much hype was behind the season, even starting, right? That you even through Star Wars, all the Star Wars things I follow on social media, it was just like a glancing thing that like nobody seemed to even be going, hey, this thing's starting tonight, everybody. Woo! It's just like, hey, Han Solo movie and The Last Jedi comes out in 60 days. Yay. And it's like, oh yeah, Rebels.
Yeah. It's really kind of what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think that speaks to, the first 3 seasons, and people are like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, and I know there's a lot of fans of it. I'm just not one of them. I mean, it doesn't suck, but I mean, the Clone Wars, I think, dwarfs it, honestly. And I wasn't a super huge devotee of the Clone Wars either, like you were, AJ.
Right.
So if I'm not super gung-ho about the Clone Wars, I'm really not going to be gung-ho about this. So, but moving on from that to something that we'll close the show with a good long discussion here. Something that, going from something that's underwhelming to something that is overwhelming and kick ass. The trailer for The Last Jedi. That was so badass. That was everything I was hoping for. And I was listening to our last episode this morning. And it is so funny because we said,
self-promotion.
Well, no. I wanted to make sure, like,
pad those numbers.
Exactly. But I wanted to go back and hear what we had to say about what we thought would be in it. And we thought it was definitely going to have Rose.
Yeah, come on, Steve. Where you at with the soundboard?
Where you at, man?
I'm slacking. Sorry.
Yes.
I was trying to watch the trailer in silence over here.
We said it would definitely have DJ. We said it would definitely have Canto Bite. We were way off. All we had to do after that was say it would have Fathirs, and then we'd have been.
What is that?
The space horses.
December.
Where are you coming up with this stuff? Again, the guy who doesn't want to be spoiled, and you have like all the spoilers.
They're in the IMAX stand-up thing, but they've also been talked about on Canto Bite. There's like stuff that has been like set photos have been released and stuff.
Yeah, but knowing the names of these things when they haven't been shown in anything like truly official.
Well, it's because I read it recently, so it kind of stuck in my head.
No.
Yeah, I just watching that the first time just absolutely blew my mind.
That was
oh my God, was that good?
It's totally lame, but I swear if I had a camera on me for a reaction video, that would have like made the Star Wars show. I was freaking out over this thing.
Yeah, I was on a conference call with the band and I was like, okay, I'm going on mute. It's coming on. And they're laughing at me, so I took my Bluetooth off. I'm like, I don't need to hear this negativity. And I got back on. I was losing it, and they were just laughing their nuts off at me. But I mean, it is so good. And there is so much misdirection in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen so many people speculate. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Like, you didn't pay close attention, did you? The main one being at the end with Rey.
Well,
I need to find my place.
Do you want to know why so many people didn't pay attention to that stuff? Because they were paying attention to one stupid thing, and we all saw it on social media after this thing went.
Porg Watch 2017.
How an amazing trailer comes out, and immediately everybody's like, "Porgs!"
Yeah.
Like, God, like I'm sick of these damn things.
See, you're coming over to my side. You're coming over to my side. They're cute, but enough already.
In the group thread the day after, I was like, "Hey, John, I'm like, how'd you feel about the fact that it looks like that Porg was in Han Solo's seat of the Falcon, the way that angle was?"
Yeah.
You see that little Porg dropping some little fucking Porg nuggets in Han's seat. How's that going to make you feel while you're watching this movie?
Thankfully, it was small. It was a very small moment, but yeah, I mean, the part at the end with like Rey and Kylo Ren, she's like, I need someone to, show me my place and all this, and then he holds out his hands. Like, the very first time I saw it, I was like, that's editing. Like, there's fire and stuff, like sparks and things falling behind Kylo Ren, and her there's not. So, what the heck? Like, that's not, that's not the same scene.
No, not at all. But it's cut in such a way that you feel like it might be able to be. Now, okay, so let me turn that around though. Who is she talking to?
Again, I've read speculation.
I think it's just Luke.
I actually read an interesting theory that
she's talking to a Porg.
No, Chewbacca. Like, because there's the shot of the Millennium Falcon, like kind of from up above on Ahch-To, and it's like at night, and it's Chewbacca sitting there with a campfire. That they're saying maybe she's like down there with Chewbacca because she's wearing the same outfit as she did at the end of Force Awakens, and so maybe she's by the campfire with Chewbacca saying, "I just need someone to show me my place and all this." And I mean, that one you can at least kind of see maybe.
I'm trying to remember. Did she ever speak directly to Chewbacca in Force Awakens? Do we know that those two can actually converse? Because that's kind of the gag with Chewie, is that no one ever understands what the hell he's saying except for Han.
Oh no! When they were,
she did understand. I thought she understood him on the ship when.
Yeah, he went.
And Finn were
when they first came on the Millennium Falcon, and he said, Han says, "Where's the pilot?" She goes, "I'm the pilot." And Chewbacca goes, whatever, and she says, "No, really, I'm the pilot." And then Finn says, "You can understand that thing?" And Han Solo goes, "And he can understand you. So watch it." So she knew what he was saying when he went, I can't do a Chewbacca, so I'm not even going to try. But
then another thing I gathered from the trailer and the toys and stuff, I think Disney is trying to very minimally, because it's not like they're trying to sexualize Star Wars or anything, but I think they're trying to play off of the hotness of Daisy Ridley, the fact that she's actually showing skin on her outfit now.
You think so?
I think so. As little as it is, the deep cut on the thing that wasn't on the original one and all that, I think they might be trying to play a little bit.
Yeah, but she was showing shoulder in TFA, and I don't know about you guys, but shoulder makes me hot.
How 1923 of you.
Right?
That's some good ankle there.
Oh, yeah. That's some sexy calf right there, bro.
Right? Now we're getting into 1935. Be careful.
That calf with an L, not the calf we were talking about earlier with the drinks.
Yeah, right? Well, she does have the two different outfits. Like you said, the one's lower cut, and she's like, they have her hair down. So to me that was almost kind of Leia-ish. You know how like they had the hair up in buns, and then when she starts realizing like who she is, like then when Luke tells her hair's down. So that was, to me, that was kind of.
Well, know why Rey was handing that lightsaber to the T1 though.
Yeah, right. What do you think about like the whole Force tree thing and the whole Journal of the Wills and stuff like that?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, they're trying to tie everything in, which I'm kind of okay with. The fact that they kind of just really, I mean, it's stuff that we talked about before, that the Book of the Wills and all that, it's been there, but until Rogue One came out, the standard fan probably really had no idea about it because they only watched the movies and stuff. So plus now that it's coming out in the forefront and they're trying to tie it in, especially since Rogue One is the newest movie going into this, people can go, "Oh, yeah, I remember that from Rogue One. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's fresh in people's minds. Yeah.
Yeah, plus the only history of the Jedi Order that we really know of is the prequels. We don't know what the Jedi Order was like before Episode 1, and it's been around for 1,000 generations. So there's plenty of more backstory that they could be pulling from.
Yeah. I mean, when people were first talking about a Force tree, I was like, huh. But if that's what it is, I mean, it looks kind of cool. It could be pretty badass. I mean, that's what we get for speculating before, but I guess that's what speculation is, just kind of guessing.
The trailer did show at least the beginning of another Kylo Ren temper tantrum, so that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he hasn't grown up too much.
Yep. We found out that space Band-Aids are black with silver dots.
Yes.
Carbon fiber space Band-Aids.
Well, that's rock tape is what that is.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing.
Wow. I did not know that. I will say this. I think you can tell what part of the movie certain scenes are from because of the fact that in some of them he still has like the bandage on his face, and other ones it's just the scar. So he's more healed. So when it's just the scar exposed, that you would think that'd be later in the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just everything about it, and the color red was very prominent. So you get like the kind of evil feel off of it, like the whole dark side thing. And, you see kind of a close up of Snoke. I mean, his hands in front of his face a little bit, but that was pretty cool. The whole thing was so action packed.
Finn's wearing an outfit that almost makes him look like an Imperial officer.
Well, I mean now that's one of the things that's well known about the movie is that he goes undercover.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, define well known, but it's on the back of his Black Series figure that I found today. So.
Exactly. I mean,
I don't. If it's already on merchandise, I don't consider it a spoiler.
Yeah, that's not spoiler. I mean, it's he and Rose go on an adventure undercover or something like that. So I mean, we knew that, but
he's fighting Phasma with the little electro baton that dude had from the first movie.
I do think it's kind of bizarre that of all the people that they're going to send undercover in the First Order, they're going to send the one guy who was actually in the First Order.
Maybe they just forgot what he looked like.
Well, apparently you're never allowed to take your helmet off, so they might never have known what he looked like.
True. Oh, no, they had his picture when he was a kid because it was floating in the hologram when they were,
Yeah.
So, but
the one thing that I think this trailer does a good job of is casting some doubt on what we saw in Episode 7.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in Rey's vision, we see the burning building. We see the Luke's robotic hand reach out and touch R2, for example. The fact that we're seeing a burning building and all that stuff going on in this movie, they're either flashing back to the same event for a second time, or that was a flash forward in Rey's vision, not a flash back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I personally think it's a flashback still.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. I mean, like I said, that's one of the cool things about this is that it's like people right off the bat had these, opinions of everything.
I don't think it's a flashback, and here's why. Because that scene at the end with Kylo Ren holding his hand out, he's wearing his newer costume, and there's ashes. So I'm assuming that Kylo is in the new scene. So it's modern time. It's not a flashback when he's holding his hand out in front of this burning building. So if it's Episode 8 version of Kylo in front of the burning building, that must happen in this movie, not flashing back.
Do you want to know what I think?
Unless he was just wearing old clothes, in the flashback, and then he changed
because the
Episode 7
flashback had the knights.
Maybe it was
too, right? And the rain and everything.
With all the slaughtered Jedi around him,
and the trailer does show Luke like completely soaked, like he's out in the rain or something like that.
Well, that's when he gets out of they went swimming or something. That's another weird thing is that people.
I just remember it was dark, so I was trying to put two and two.
There's like an underwater thing because it showed Rey swimming.
Yeah, her climbing out of the
dude. People see the weirdest things. I still can't get over this. Like people have freeze framed everything, and I've seen a couple different people go, "Well, look in the bottom right corner when Rey is swimming. That's obviously like the skull of some giant monster. You could totally tell." And a bunch of people have said that. I'm like, it's blurry as hell. How the hell do you know that? So I don't know if like these people have heard like plot leaks and they're kind of giving out some minor spoilers or what. Because I sure as hell don't see it. I mean, the other freeze frames you can, I could see that. I could see this. I can see that. But that whole thing about a skull of a giant underwater creature, like I don't see that at all.
Weren't there pictures in Entertainment Weekly or something like that of Luke's X-Wing underwater.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So maybe he just left like a Toblerone down there or something. He's like, okay, go get that for me. I'm hungry.
Toblerone.
He's an old man now. It's probably a Werther's.
Yeah, right. He dropped his candy into the water. Go get it. You're in training. Can I use the Force? No, go swimming.
Ray, go fetch my butterscotch candies.
Yeah, and my black licorice. No.
God, you're old, Luke.
No, honestly, the whole Kylo Ren holding his hand out thing. You know who I think he's holding his hand out to? Princess Leia.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Because there's
all you see is like stuff flying around him in the background. You don't actually see a background. Maybe he's on the ship.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I mean, he was flying in kind of like in the outside
alcove or whatever.
Yeah, the alcove of the ship or whatever. So we know something's there. And just the emotional look on his face, you have to assume that is Leia related somehow. So maybe he's attacking the ship, and then he's in the ship and has a change of heart or something. Maybe that's like the big plot twist. So,
because there's no way that what they showed is what is in the movie. There's no way Disney and Lucas were gonna just give that away in the trailer of Kylo and Rey, regardless if it's light or dark side, joining forces, and give that away in a trailer 2 months before the movie comes out.
Could you imagine if they did? All of this is exactly how everybody speculated right off the bat, and they just gave everything away, and everyone is like, they wouldn't do that. So they're purposely causing bullcrap speculation when you go to the theater and go, holy shit, that was everything that was in the trailer. I'll be damned.
Well, isn't that exactly what turned out happening with Force Awakens? You called it before it came out. You're like, I've heard that the trailer is basically a sequential plot synopsis, and it turns out it basically was.
Some of it, yeah.
So, Rian Johnson even came out and said, this one's kind of spoilerish, guys. Now, I took that immediately as misdirection.
Yeah.
The director's not going to come out and tell you not to watch the trailer because it's a spoiler. Unless maybe they want you to think it is, so you think you know what's going on, and turns out you don't.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, that just him holding his hand out, it just seems to me it would be such an interesting thing if, again, the plot twist was him actually kind of siding with Leia. And then what if, Luke, his whole determination, there's always been those rumors for years and years about people saying, what if Luke turned to the dark side and all this stuff? It's like, well, what if he actually kind of does? Or because of his altered belief in the Jedi Order, it all of a sudden becomes determined that he needs to be destroyed. And Kylo Ren actually decides to do that. And because, I don't know. It's any number of things can be gleaned from this, but it's, who else would well, oh, you know what? Maybe Kylo Ren is holding his hand out to Hux.
Could be
possible.
Could be.
That's the plot twist. They're actually best friends. Or they're gay lovers. Ren and Hux.
Everybody thought it was going to be Finn and Poe.
Yeah, right.
Plot twist.
So, if Hux and Kylo Ren got married, would it be Hux Ren or Ren Hux?
It doesn't work either way. I'm not a shipper for this. No. I'm not behind it. Look, I got another show on Star Trek Discovery, and there is an openly gay couple on there. I'm all about that. That's fine. They look great together. They're beautiful, but
nice.
No. Kylo and Hux, no. I mean, who'd be on top?
I don't want to know. I'm not even thinking about that. It was a quick joke, and I'm not taking it any further because that's gross.
Yeah, Hux will be on top because Kylo's clearly the bitch.
Probably. He's got the long hair.
Right.
More girly, but yeah, so I mean there's
Hux is a hair puller.
So since we have porgs and everyone's crazy about porgs, you think everyone's now going to go crazy about ice foxes?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I wonder if that's what they're actually called. I saw them referred to as that, but I don't know if they said that's the official name.
No, there's going to be something far more creative, of course. It's Star Wars.
True. Yeah. I don't know. It was cool. And I know that they had that scene with the Millennium Falcon going through what looks like the mines, like the red mines and stuff. So you'd have to assume that's kind of like in the, underneath crate, like the planet's surface and stuff like that. So I think when you really look into it deeply, you can kind of maybe get some ideas of where the plot kind of goes.
It's funny how we just make all these assumptions. Like, that right there, I'm like, oh, okay, so the Millennium Falcon is also on Crate, which means that Rey must be back from her time on Ahch-To by the time that battle happens. Maybe not. Maybe it's not the same planet.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they just threw some red in there because that's the color of the marketing.
Yep. I just can't get over how great it was, though, and it just created such a sense of excitement, and everything we've heard about the movie, with it being darker and different, and the Luke character like completely being turned on its ear, you really kind of get that feeling from this trailer. Like whoever put it together did a fantastic job.
The other thing that I loved about it, I think we got our first taste of the new score. That sounded so much like John Williams at the beginning. If that's not in the score, I'd be surprised.
Well, it has to be. They said the movie's done.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean the music is. And
of course it does.
A lot of times in trailers, it's some other composer doing the soundtrack for the trailer because it's really hard to cut up the actual score for the trailer.
I didn't know that's how it's done.
A lot of times, yeah.
I had never heard that.
Because when you've got like a 2.5 minute, all jumbled out of order, montage of clips, how are you going to make the soundtrack match up to that?
Yep.
You've really got to compose to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, but that first, you could just tell. You could so tell when it's John Williams, and the way that music comes in is just like, that's what gave me chills right off the bat. Like, new visuals is great, but as soon as I heard, like, as soon as my brain said, that's John Williams, like, now it's real.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear John Williams, I know it's real.
As long as the main theme hits like hard at the beginning of the movie this time, unlike episode 7, I'll be fine. That'll be my clue that the movie's better. I still listen to that and I'm like, man, this just does. It's like, yeah, like, come on.
Yeah, it's all balanced instead of brash.
Yeah, you need to have it just pound in there, man.
Steve, you're kind of mesmerized over there. You've just been watching this thing on loop, haven't you?
Yeah.
What do you think? Anything you're getting from
I just keep
back-to-back viewings?
I just keep I'm searching to try to find something like all the background stuff and all the picking apart things. I'm trying to find my own, and
what do you guys?
I've yet to find anything useful.
What do you think about the ATM-6s, the Gorilla Walkers?
That's one thing I loved about it was I wanted to see those things moving, and I do kind of love them.
The thing I still don't understand is the foot kind of facing the opposite way, like Gordon Hayward. Oh, too soon? Yeah. Enjoy your season, Boston Celtics. Up yours. I hate to see a guy get injured, but if it's screwing over Kyrie Irving, I'm for it. But anyway,
if they're walking that way, do you think at any point those things go vertical?
Yeah, right.
Like honestly, you think there's a way that those things are?
It just looks like they're gonna roll. He's gonna flop forward. Could you imagine that if that's what like happened in the engineering? They're like, we came up with these new walkers. Check this out. And they take 2 steps and they just crumble because the foot's going that way. It's like, we'll go back to the drawing board.
No, I dig them a lot. The only problem I had with it is now seeing them in motion and in scale compared to the, Empire's Imperial AT-ATs.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish the Lego set was bigger because the 2 Lego sets are identically sized. I'm like, I want an ATM-6 that's sized to the last AT-AT they put out. I want to see those things side by side in real life.
Right? You want scale?
I do. I really do. I know it's a stupid complaint, but
well, maybe that's the next $800 Lego kit
next
year.
I just keep thinking, like, if you can't blow up a walker without it being an incredible pain in the ass, how the hell are you going to take down one of those things?
Well, apparently, all you need is a damn lightsaber, and legs will go down.
On that again.
Well, what if they just have like really big snow speeders this time?
There it is. It's the age-old thing that we've been talking about. Everything's just bigger.
There's an old hammerhead trying to do the loop around.
Yeah, right.
Trying to go around it.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't make the turn tight enough.
It goes back to that size thing, man, about everything just being bigger, and eventually it gets to be like that movie Pacific Rim, which I won't watch because I saw the trailer.
But Finn isn't
and I don't care. But when you have these damn things that are bigger than buildings, just kicking ass, and like the whole world's gonna get destroyed by that. It's too big. It's at some point it strains credulity too much.
Yeah, once the scale's that far out of whack, nothing is impressive.
Yeah. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see if they can take these things down somehow. So they do look badass, though. I gotta say,
like you said, the scale and everything. There should be a small army inside of each of those damn things.
Yeah,
it sure doesn't look like those ski speeders the Resistance are coming at them with are going to do anything against them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
all right, we're going to blow these things up. This is like the first time they've ever seen the guerrilla walkers. They go flying out there. All right, we're going to blow these things.
No, we've seen these before. You just got to put a tow cable on them and go around them, and those are a lot bigger.
Yeah, right. No, dude, I think we're actually fine this time. Like completely and legitimately fine. We have no way to do this. So you know that big cave that Leia was standing in front of? Go back there.
You just see all those things flying towards them on crate, and then you just see them all bust U-turns and start going back the other way.
You hear the braking sound. And they hightail it back in there. You hear the whimpering puppy sound as they hit.
Right, yeah.
You hear a record scratch, and then all the John Williams stuff's getting played in reverse as they're running away from the battle.
Right? Everything just comes to a screeching halt.
You get that pots and pans clanging from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
It's the turnaround noise. Yeah, they're flying out there. We got this. We got this. All the big grandiose music. And all of a sudden you hear the braking sound. Everything stops. And real quiet in the back you hear, oh, fuck. And that's when the pot and that's when the pots and pans happen as they turn around and hightail it back into the base. That's how the movie ends. They're just about to get bitch slapped. Everyone in the resistance is like, well, so I guess this is pretty much it. So yeah, I guess we're not resisting pretty much anything anymore.
Good game, guys.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I guess we tried. Hey, what the hell?
Send off the idiot children and the pod racers. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. That's how they write Carrie Fisher out. She's like, we can't give up.
That's the
we
plot
can't
twist.
give up.
That's the plot twist. DJ is actually Kitster.
Of course.
Oh my god. He's Ben Quadraneros with plastic surgery. Yeah, I figured it out. That's how they write Carrie Fisher out. She's like, we can't quit. We can't quit. They're like, we have to. We're totally screwed. And then they basically like show like a big, huge wide shot of the mouth of that cave on crate with the base, and they digitally put a little character walking out there, and they find some old dialogue of hers like, I won't quit. And then they just kind of like the walkers just step on her or blow her up or something.
Just one bolt.
Yeah, like Star Wars Family Guy.
Feeling okay, sir?
Just like new. How about you, Dak?
I feel like I could take on the whole Empire myself.
Really? Cause that would be awesome. Hey, everyone! Dak says he's got this one!
You know it, bitches! Hey, Imperial Fleet! Get ready to suck some Dak!
But yeah, they just do that, like, and then Carrie Fisher just goes out there just to have a brave, I'm gonna fight, and it's just like a bug. Like, wow.
Music's all super serious. It's starting to build up, and you're like, wow, this is getting a feel.
Again, everything just stops at silence, and everyone in the theater's like, whoa, that was unexpected. What the hell was that?
No score, no anything. You just hear the walkers just walking past.
Or the music just continues, but you hear like an oboe in the background going, whoa, 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 whoa. Real mellow in the background, so it's still all grandiose, but you do hear boy, that was a disappointment. Like it's a very tiny undertone in the music.
As the walker steps on Leia, they hit you with the Wilhelm.
That's where it's gonna be. Oh my god. That would be like the perfect spot for it, too.
Don't worry, guys, I got this.
Well, that's how the whole thing ends. Or they have Laura Dern's character, the other general. Like you can get the Wilhelm scream, and then she just turns to look at the camera and goes, and then
that's the whole misdirection of the trailer. None of that is in the movie.
Yeah, right? They made
the whole trailer is the Constable Zuvio of episode 8.
They Rogue One'd us again.
Yep. It's actually a comedy, and they put all the only dark parts are in this trailer. Like like one of the the MT6s.
Hey, John Williams, can you cover this?
The MT6 falls over like dominoes. They actually fall sideways, and they go over like dominoes. And then you got Kylo Ren floating up there in his shuttle, looking down, going, "Wow, I'll be damned." So I guess that's happening. Luke and Rey being all wet and stuff, they're just going swimming. They're playing Marco Polo in like a space cave on Achto.
By the way, what a sweet ship collection Kylo has. Like,
Right?
He's still got that big Batwing shuttle, but now he's got this cool TIE fighter too.
Well, when you're the leader of
he's like Lego Batman. He's got to have one of everything.
Yeah, I was
And
just
it's
about to
always
say.
in black or very, very, very dark gray.
when you're second in command of the First Order, you're kind of in a high pay grade, so you can kind of like get whatever you want.
Right. The beginning of the movie starts out like MTV Cribs, and Kylo Ren's just showing off all of his cars.
So this is my TIE silencer, and this is my shuttle, my command shuttle, and back there in the back, yeah, that's my custom mini M6.
And this is where they
ATM6.
say where all the magic happens. Right here. This is my bedroom here, where I throw all my temper tantrums.
It's got lightsaber proof walls.
No, here's the ashes of my grandfather here. I like to throw my helmet in it and act like I'm him once in a while. Sometimes I smear it on my face. I can feel you, grandfather.
You know, that is one thing I still just can't understand is the whole throwing the helmet in ashes thing. His helmet. I'm like, what is that?
The ashes are apparently from the funeral pyre on Endor.
Okay, I thought so, but I'd never heard that for sure.
It's in a book or something.
Okay.
All right. Too much crap.
He likes to wear the melted helmet and run around. Well, used to like running around Starkiller Base.
Yeah.
Guess who I am, guys?
He just walks up to people behind him and taps them on the shoulder, turns and goes, "Oh my God, we get it. It's your grandpa. Go away. We're trying to work." What did you say? And he force chokes him like, "Sorry, it was really funny again." So a little bit more back on topic. Yeah, I mean, just the
we had one of those?
Kind of.
Huh.
Just the general energy of the whole trailer was really, I mean, after waiting as long as we did, it was definitely not a letdown. It was definitely something that, for someone like me who just is so stoked for this movie that I can't even describe it, it made me even more excited for it.
Now, compare your feelings after watching the Force Awakens trailer compared to this one.
That's a hard one. Because, are you talking about the Chewie We're Home trailer?
Yeah, like the first real taste of the movie that we got.
Well, see, it's two different things. Because seeing Han Solo again for the first time for me will always be like the pinnacle. Because I mean, I hadn't seen him in 30 years, so for me to see it, and I knew he was in the movie, but just to see Han Solo on screen, actually Han Solo on screen again for the first time in 30 years. That's just untouchable for me. So, But then you compare this Last Jedi trailer with the first Force Awakens trailer when they had that, the scene of the part of the Graveyard of Giants chase, and you're seeing the Falcon like basically flying upside down and doing all this crazy stuff. It's just like, what in the hell am I in for with this movie? So, I do have to say though that overall, minus Chewie We're Home, I don't think I've ever been as excited after a Star Wars trailer ever than I am for this one. There's just some kind of energy about it, and maybe part of it comes from the fact that, Force Awakens was a little bit of a letdown for me, and it is kind of a ripoff, and I'm so hoping that this one isn't, and that this does look like it has a different vibe, that I think I'm so stoked for it, Even the Porg, I mean, as much as we laugh at Porgs, it does look, you kind of get the feeling that they have the Porg in the movie in kind of a cool way, being in the Millennium Falcon and stuff. It adds a little bit of, humor to it. Even that didn't bother me. So something about this just has me even more excited for this movie.
I can see that. Yeah. For me, like there was so much excitement around The Force Awakens and seeing all that footage because it was the first time we'd seen anything like classic Star Wars-y, but with modern production and all the original trilogy feels going on. This one is like, so there was like just pure joy and excitement about that one. This one, there's more apprehension,
Yeah, totally.
And I think a lot of it is because they did a good job of putting so much Leia in there. Like as soon as Leia was on the screen, you can't help but get emotional. And then with the way they intercut with Kylo, Leia, Kylo, Leia,
Yeah.
Kylo, Leia, hand on trigger. Oh my God. Like it's dumb to get choked up over this because that's not the way it goes in the movie. They wouldn't possibly do that and give that away. But just the thought of it and just the knowledge that by some way, shape, or form, Leia's going to be dead before 9.
Yeah.
We don't know if it happens in 8 or if it happens between, but just knowing that this is the last footage we're going to see of Leia on screen, anytime you see her, especially when her life is in peril, you really feel it.
Yeah.
It's so weird because, like, we all suspected that maybe Han Solo was going to get his in Episode 7, but it's very different when
Maybe
a character
you guys did.
It's very different when a character, might get killed off. It's very different when the actor is no longer around.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So different. It's kind of like going way back, showing our age. It's like with The Crow.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that one. Ooh, that was creepy.
Yeah, it's just it's weird when you're seeing a posthumous performance like that.
Yeah,
Steve, what do you think? What's your comparison between the 7 and 8 trailers?
What did you like?
I was just thinking that scene you were just talking about with Kylo and Leia. That I was just thinking Kylo's gonna go. It's no good. It's no good. I'm pulling off.
And Hux will be in his helmet. Hey, we could have had him, man. We could have had him. Kylo Ren. I will shoot when I'm goddamn good and ready. You got that?
It's no good.
Go back to 1986 and watch Top Gun, kids. You'll understand that reference.
And then Kylo turns into a good guy at the end. He goes to Poe and he goes, "You could be my wingman anytime."
Bullshit. You can be mine.
So seriously, what did the trailer do for you?
It made me extremely excited for 2 months from now to see this damn movie. Yeah, but you do get the darker tone, which is nice. I just from the trailer alone, I can't say I feel like they're trying to rip off anything from Episode 5. I mean, we talked about how scared we were of that, and obviously there's going to be Jedi training and there's going to be wars and blah, blah, blah. But, I didn't get that feel of this is going to be another complete rip-off kind of thing of the original trilogy, so that's nice too. And then, like you guys said, the misdirection at the end, everybody, they obviously want the fair weather Star Wars fan to think that Rey is going to the dark side or something like that, the way that they played the trailer off, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but, whatever on that front. Yeah, honestly, I didn't really pick the thing apart enough to want to compare anything and all that. All I did was get really excited for the fact that we're 58 days or so from this thing coming out at this point, and I just want to see everything that's in between all the shots that we just saw in that 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to see the other 2 hours 27.5 minutes, please.
Yes, please.
Well, Dark Side guy, you saw the scene of Kylo smashing his mask. And
yeah, the little temper tantrum thing.
And you don't see him in his mask for the rest of the trailer. Do you think that's the end of masked Kylo?
It might be. I will go back and stand by what I said from Episode 7 that I hate Kylo without the mask. I think it completely takes away from the character. Maybe it's because I like Vader so much that it was that ominous look of a bad guy. Because Kylo Ren looked awesome in that first scene of The Force Awakens. He was
totally agree.
He was a complete badass down there, holding that blaster bolt and everything like that. And then 20 minutes later in the movie, he takes off the helmet, and you're just it's just a dude. I thought it just took away from the character, and I don't really care so much for scar-faced, Kylo Ren. I think he should just have the stupid helmet on and be done with it.
See, that honestly, it actually works for me. I love the look of him in the mask because, like you said, it's really cool. It's badass looking, and you just figured this guy's evil. This is Vader Part 2. And when he takes the mask off, it adds that bit of humanity that you can't see with the mask. So I know that's what they were going for, and it worked on me. So I totally see why you would see that and why people who don't get into it for that reason, I totally get it. But for me, I actually kind of, if you think about just that part of the trailer, let's say that actually is in the movie where he's flying and then it shows Leia crying or whatever, looking all emotional. Let's say that how it actually plays out. Look at the look on his face as he's doing this. Now put the mask on. It just looks like Leia going, "Oh man, the bad guy's going to shoot me." Mm-hmm. It totally takes away the weight of that.
I do think, Top Gun jokes aside, I really don't think either those two scenes are not the actual scene of the movie, or if it is, I don't think he takes that shot Like, I think he's going to be in some torn state of not being able to pull the trigger at that moment or something.
But that's why I go back to the whole, the thing of, the freighter getting blown up, and then like maybe Kylo flies the ship into the bigger ship, and him holding his hand out is rescuing Leia as this thing's blowing up. I mean, that could be what it is. That scene could be play out that way.
Because they insinuated it in The Force Awakens that he is having this tear between the light and the dark and everything. So who knows? Maybe this is the one where this movie it takes over a little more to the light side or a little more. Yeah. Like, so who knows? But yeah, I think if those scenes actually are intertwined like that, I don't think he takes that shot.
I don't think so either, but it made for a really cool scene in the trailer. I mean, like, rarely do you get something that emotional out of a trailer. And I don't think it was just because it was, oh man, Carrie Fisher. I know a lot of people had that reaction, but for me, just the way he was looking and she was looking, it was like, you're like, is he going to kill his own mother in this? Like, after he killed his father? Like, you never get that kind of thing in a trailer, which was awesome. So, like I said, for me, the trailer just completely reinforced the fact that I cannot wait to see this movie.
Mm-hmm. So what are we missing that they're saving for the movie, though? Like, what's the big get? It's got a Luke Leia reunion. Is it Leia's death? Like what do you think
it's definitely
the big get is?
It's definitely something Luke related. I mean, you would have
is it Luke's death? And
could be.
Well, we still haven't seen Luke do anything. We've seen him talk and.
We've seen him look like a scared old man.
Yeah. We haven't seen him actually pick up a saber himself. So if he's going to take an active role of any kind, we've yet to see it.
That could be the get too, that the moment where he cracks the lightsaber and does whatever the hell he has to do or something, and probably
that's the moment the theater's going to erupt.
He goes out in a blaze of glory or something, fighting Snoke or something at the end.
There was rumors like years ago about stories of how Luke was in exile because his powers got so strong that he was having a hard time controlling them, and he was basically on Achto to learn to control them. But when he really unleashes now, he just lays waste to stuff. So maybe
that could be that statement he made too. What he said, I've only seen power like this one other time, and it didn't scare me back then.
Yeah.
So maybe he's talking about himself.
Yeah. You won't like what is it?
This isn't going to go the way you think.
Yeah. I mean, so that could be maybe the end, maybe he's docile the whole time. He's resisting fighting. And then all of a sudden at the end, he unleashes that power and just lays waste to everything. And people are like, that's kind of dark side dude. So he's kind of in that gray area at the end. I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be Luke related.
They try to strike down Rey, and then the saber, Kylo's saber, just stops. You see him fighting with it because Luke's holding it from the other side of the room and rips the saber out of his hand and starts dual wielding and looking like Episode 2 Yoda, flipping all over the place. You're like, oh my god,
whoa,
what the hell is this?
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It could be. There could be a Rey twist. There could be a Kylo twist. There could be a Luke twist. We don't know what's going to happen to Leia now because, it's pretty widely reported now that 7 was supposed to be Han's movie and 8 was Luke's movie and 9 was supposed to be Leia's movie, and now they can't do that. So they had to do big rewrites on the overall story for 9. So you don't know what's going to happen with Leia now.
Hell, maybe Luke got a stay of execution in this movie because of what happened.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that. Because
God, how brutal would that be if the entire overarching premise of the sequel trilogy was we're going to kill off one of the original characters in each of the movies,
right?
And now they just got to do it out of order.
Your childhood is officially over,
right?
Yeah, and that could very well be it too. That they are looking to get rid of a character per movie like that, because we talked about it when the first one came out. Obviously all these guys aren't going to last forever, so you got to have an end game. You can't just have them ride off into obscurity in space and go, we never really knew what happened to Leia. She just got on the ship and left. Nobody's going to be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, I quit the Resistance. Screw this. I'm done. I fought long enough. I'm in retirement.
just goes off into the sunset somewhere. It's just like, well, that's not good enough for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
It's like you need an end to the story somewhere. So
maybe there really is another sequel trilogy after this one, and they basically are killing off one each of the main original trilogy characters in this one, like 7, 8, 9, so that none of them are left. And they've established this trilogy establishes the story of the new characters, and then they can really go into it in 10, 11, 12. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Could be.
So, all right. Well, on that note, why don't we close up shop for this week? Thanks, everyone, for checking out another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. Don't forget to find us at nerfherdercouncil.com. We are on Twitter at NHC Podcast. You can find us on our Facebook page and send us a message. If you'd like to interact with us directly, you can call our voicemail at 447-987-WARS. That is 9277. Don't forget to check out all of our episodes on YouTube if you like to go the YouTube route. Go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review if you would be so kind. Or if you don't like the show, go ahead and leave us a crappy review. That's fine. Not really. Just leave us a 5-star review and help us out. We all love Star Wars here.
Leave 5 stars and then just tell us how bad we are in your comment.
Right. We have microphones. We'll just make fun of you on air if you trash us.
Exactly. So don't forget, we are on Spreaker and Stitcher and Google Play and iTunes and all those good places where you find podcasts. So, as always, I am your host, JT at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ.
At Drake Adams 579.
He is Steve.
At JSteve1005.
And we'll catch you next time.
This bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my Nerf herder.
You my Nerf herder.
Is there any way you can spike individual sound effects? Because the Porg Watch thing comes through pretty quietly.
I know I can.
Porg Watch 2017.
That's better.
Yeah, I can.
I just boosted the overall level of the board, too, since you said it was kind of quiet.
But compare that to the other sounds now.
Oh, no! Well, that smells stinker-whiff.
Okay, we're all on the same level. All right, we're good.
So we are good.
Porg Watch 2017.
I'm glad you got that.